I can never tell if it's counting down or if I'm live. So, hey, good morning. Happy Friday. I am Lise Colucci, and I'm one of the life coaches at queenbeing.com, where we help you to discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hi, Karina. Today, I want to talk about forgiving yourself. And before we start, if you need any help with recovery from narcissistic abuse, head over to queenbeing.com. Lots of info over there. Check out any of the other videos on this channel. If you've not subscribed to this channel, hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you're liking what you see. Also, good morning, Vicki. If you need information, you need any help with as far as coaching goes, information is in the main description of every video. And remember that I have a special running for this month for 35% off one-on-one coaching. And there's group coaching available anytime you can jump in, but info's all down below, so in the main description. So check it out. Hey, Angela, if you need that. And let's get started with talking about self-forgiveness. I'm going to keep this a little shorter today, hopefully, because I need to be somewhere at 11, have a group. So we will get going. Hey, Shastina and Angela, did I say hi? Okay, so self-forgiveness. I was asked to talk about this the other day, so here we go. People are saying things like, I just can't forgive myself for letting myself be abused. I just can't get over the fact that I let that happen to me. I can't forgive myself for not protecting myself. I can't believe I didn't see it. I feel so stupid and I feel duped. I feel like I was, you were lied to, but I feel, people feeling like they should have known better. So we have to remember that even when we know some, unless we are fully aware of what a narcissist is, how it affects you in a relationship, what the red flags are in your own body, what it feels like when you get anxious and why you get anxious around these people, what love bombing really is, unless you've experienced it, unfortunately, on a physical level, like through your body, not just experienced it by watching someone else go through it. It can be really hard to spot. It can be really hard to spot with a covert narcissist. It can be really, really hard to spot with an altruistic, friendly covert narcissist that is very mellow and introverted. It isn't showing all the outward displays. It can be hard to spot. We have to remember that we cannot go back and know now then what we know now. What you didn't know, you just didn't know. You got to give yourself the same grace you would give anybody else, the same space and the same room inside yourself that you would give to anyone else who didn't see it. For instance, right now I know of 2 therapists, and one is a narcissistic abuse person dating one. And I know for a fact that they're dating one. I know the person. I know these people. What do I say, right? And they're just not seeing what they needed to see. They're not seeing it. They're not catching it. So we can't know everything. We don't have crystal balls. We don't have the ability to see the future. We just can't know. We can protect ourselves in the moment once we do have an understanding and an awareness of what red flags look like and what for our life isn't going to work. And it could also be, that a narcissist doesn't show their colors for a few years. They don't let the mask drop. You know what? In that case, you have to look at it like if you do catch it right away and you leave, say you get with someone and they're not showing any signs, there's no red flags, everything seems cool, like these 2 people I was talking about, they probably think they know what they're looking at, and they probably are seeing something good and wonderful and all the good stuff because the masks are on, because these people know they have to hide it more from someone who knows better. Right? It's probably a game for these people to, right? Okay. Which scares me a little for what I do, but that's okay. I'm strong. Anyway, when you get to the point where the masks fall off and you walk away, that's when you, instead of looking at something like, I should have known better, I should have seen this, it was obvious, there were little signs. Instead of getting down on yourself, try to see the success of walking away from something when you do see it. Whether it be a week, a year, 2 years, when the masks fall off and you do leave, realize that you took yourself out of that situation as best you could when you could. Does that make sense? Instead of getting hard on yourself for the 2 years wasted or the 2 months wasted or how my heart is broken again, or, the things that we can't protect ourselves from life 100%, but we can learn from what we're doing and change the way we operate when things that present themselves again. Does that make sense? And hopefully it won't happen, but if it does, there you go. I'm just thinking, this just dawned on me this morning and I thought, oh my gosh, that's 2 people. Okay. All right. So, okay, Jack is saying we didn't know it's not a reflection on us. Yes, it's not a reflection on you. Somebody else doing wrong to you is not a reflection on your worth. It's a reflection on theirs. We have to remember that. It's not, we have to be our own friend through this. This isn't a time to get really hard on yourself. And because of this self-judging and self-criticism and the self-blame, it can make it hard to heal, right? Okay. Yeah, no matter how long it took, we finally left. And if you can't leave, you're seeing it. You're here. You're trying. You're doing your best. You're seeing it. You're making progress. Holding on to self-blame over something that happened to you at the hands of someone else is not going to progress your healing. It's just going to keep you stuck in the past, because then all you're thinking about is what had happened and only if only. Right. And we can't live in the if onlys. We can live in the what ifs and not even the what ifs. We can live in the right now and what we're doing right now. And we can make aims toward goals that will be. All right. So, okay. We aren't suckers. We're lollipops. Okay. Hey, Jack and Crystal and Chastina. Did I get y'all? If I missed anybody, hello. All right. It's understandable. They fooled us. It is. You feel like a sucker. I know. I understand. Okay. But we're not a sucker. We're going into hi, Tiffany. Welcome. Welcome. This is your first time here. Oh, I'm so glad you are here. Welcome. So, Angela, feeling like a sucker is normal for a lot of us. Feeling like you were duped, like you were stupid, like you should have known better, like you were fooled. Yeah, it's part of the sting. It's like a slap in the face, isn't it? Or like a punch in the gut of feeling like, I can't believe I was emotionally fooled like that. I feel stupid. I feel whatever word you want to put there. But it's okay. You feel it, notice it, and let it go. Because it's not going to help you to stay stuck feeling like a sucker, right? You aren't a sucker. Look how many of us there are. Just go into SPAN and just look at the number of how many people are in there. And that's one support group. One. Just look at the number. We get 50 requests a day minimally. Okay, to join. So we get a lot. There's a lot of people. So if you're a sucker, you're in good company, all right? We're all been fooled together. You know why? Because we take a risk. We're risk-taking, brave, strong individuals who have emotional maturity enough to want to relate to another human being. If that makes us wrong, I'm sorry. I'd rather be wrong, right? It's okay. Will their comments remain here after the video is over? Yes, I leave them up. I leave them up and the video will remain up. So yes. You have to search. I think you have to click to run the chat and it's no longer live chat, obviously. Hi, Belle. Very limited on car and finances. I've been seeing same therapist for 4 years. A man. I never leave, hang up from session, feeling better. Feels like narc abuse. Possible. It's because your situation is such that you are kind of stuck in it right now. And there's not, you don't always feel better from therapy. Therapy isn't necessarily the thing that makes you better. What makes you better is the work you do from what you've learned from therapy. So I can't say if that's good or bad. I don't know what's going on specifically with that particular therapist. But if you're not feeling through the week like it's benefiting you, then it might be time to explore someone else. Does that make sense? And if you are feeling like what you gain from therapy, because I mean, I know a lot of people leave therapy just feeling wrung out all the time, every single time, is based on their personality type, based on who they are, based on their situation. Like if you can't leave the situation, of course, it's going to just feel exhausting and draining, right? Every time. I'd say because of the nature of therapy, you're digging deep. It's different than coaching where you're looking for solution-based things and you're finding your own way there, right? With the help of someone asking questions and being your support team. So it's a kind of a different approach. But therapy, yeah, it can feel icky. So you're in a tough place. I do not want to disrupt the topic of the group. Would it be better if I email you? Sure, you can do that. You are welcome to do that. And it's okay. You can talk about that and maybe bring it up at the end. Let me just get through. I have 5 ways to help you forgive yourself, ideas for forgiving yourself, and then bring it back up. Okay, Bill? But that's what I have for now. That sometimes it doesn't feel good afterwards often, especially because your situation is such that it can't change yet, right? So it's kind of like that, it's never, but I would say if you're getting insight and getting some relief otherwise and getting coping skills and things like that, you have to assess it for a lot of things. Okay. Jack is saying, I think self-forgiveness is important after having experienced unhealthy therapy too. Self-forgiveness is important for your whole life. That's why it's important. It's not what we learn from narcissistic abuse is a concentrated, sort of condensed, really intense version of what we can use for all areas of your life when you have something happen, right? We learn coping skills. We learn about ourselves. We learn ways to be self-aware. We learn ways to love ourselves, to self-calm. My phrase lately has been take the crap or the shit and turn it into fertilizer. Okay, take everything that you've been through or that you're going through and turn it into something that grows something beautiful for your life. Okay, all right. Excuse me. Oh, you did say your piece and you broke no contact. Yeah, sometimes it's okay, Bonnie, right? It's not, there's no hard rule that says no contact or else, right? The no contact we know is there to protect our selves from being sucked back into being trauma bonded. But sometimes stopping, breaking the no contact, saying what you need to say, and then reinstating it is totally necessary. So I hope you're okay. Of course it's okay. It's totally okay. You do what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like if just work now on the trauma bonds, on self-shame, on any self-judgment or criticism you have, on any feelings like you need to say more and more and more, on needing them to understand you. If you've said what you needed to say and you've now backed off, sometimes we have to do that. A lot of people do. Okay. She contacted you, you said your piece and let it go there. That's okay. You're bummed out. Don't be bummed out. You did what you needed to do in the moment and just reinstate it. Okay. That's all you have to do. That's all I have to do. It's just, there's no number that makes it good. It's not like, oh, I hit day 100. Everything's better now. It's not like that. It's so not linear and everyone is so individual. She gave you an ultimatum. You're like, yeah, right. I'll take it. I'll take that. So that, or I'll never talk to you again. How about I'll never talk to you again? Take that ultimatum. She just needs to feel in control, Bonnie. She just needs to feel in control, right? So let her have it. Let her have it if it makes her go away, right? And laugh at it, that it's so ridiculous that someone so arrogant, right? So arrogant, someone that age has to act like such a child. It's ridiculous, right? So try to see that it's pathetic what they're doing, and breaking no contract happens. It happens. It's okay. It's totally okay. You just reinstate it and you keep going. Okay. Okay, good. You got it worked out, Tiffany. I am not able to keep up with chat and talk at the same time right now. Hey, Violet. You have my grandmother's name, Violet. Okay. Let's see. I do what Lisa said. I'm breaking contact. Okay, good. Got a plan in an action. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to what to do. Okay. So we talked about, forgiving yourself a little bit. So how do you forgive yourself? So what are some steps you can take to self-forgiveness? Just understanding it can help, right? Understanding that it wasn't your fault, that there are millions of people going through this, right? Thousands just in one support group. As I said, 50 a day trying to get in. That's a lot of people, right? Um, or it's on some days on a, and the amount of people that suffer with this from at the hands of someone else, you can't, if you look at it just like that, you can't feel entirely alone, right? You have to see that you're not stupid. You weren't duped. And remember that to love and to give and to be open to other people is a brave and powerful and strong and amazing way to be. It doesn't make you a victim because you were those things. Having empathy and being an empathic person, being highly sensitive, those are super strengths. We just don't know how to use them sometimes. We have let codependency slip in there, not let in the sense of it's our fault, but in the sense of because of the way society and others have conditioned us, because people have used those sensitive and amazing strong sensitivities we have and insights and intuitions. They've used them for their own good. We have to just learn how to turn it back to self-care and self-awareness and self-love so that we are not giving it in the wrong places later. But that doesn't mean because we did it before, something were bad. Okay? It just means we were misused by somebody else. And it's not our shame, it's theirs. Don't take their shame. Don't take their shame. That's their shame they should be holding. Don't hold it for them. Hand it back. Okay? Just hand it back. Picture yourself taking that shame in your hand and saying, you did this to me. I believed you. I believed in you. All the things you need to say it into a little ball in your hand and toss it invisibly into the air at the invisible narcissist and say, take it. It's yours. I don't want your shame. You know what I mean? Like, don't hold the shame for someone else. It's not yours. It's not your fault. Okay. It's a sign of, what are we saying here? Am I missing things? I'm like one track today. Okay. So too early in the morning. Just feeling sad after the arrogance of grown niece giving me an ultimatum. Yep. Okay, we're talking about the no contact breaking. Okay. All right. So let's talk. Hey, Gwen. My spouse is acting normal and chill. Now I feel like it's because I've set up boundaries and don't tolerate his crap anymore. Now I feel to blame. I don't do boundaries earlier. They do that. They get this like calm. Some of them really like when the pressure's off and the boundaries are placed. Weird, right? They like when you place the boundaries because then they don't have to, especially if you've had many years of back and forth dance of the devalue and love bomb cycle. It shakes things up. It gives it all anew. It gives them something to love bomb. It's not your fault that you were pushed into a corner and your boundaries were pushed. And now that you're reinstating them, or now that you are placing them more firmly for the first time, maybe that's not your fault that they are now choosing to be chill and use that as a form of love bombing. Okay. It feels like you're the one who was causing all the problems because now they're calm, but just wait. Just wait. It'll swing back around and you'll see it in other ways. And when you place enough boundaries, often they will realize they've lost complete control and try and rein it back in and start hating the boundaries that you placed yet again. It's just that it's new. So you're like new supply. You're like a new person. And yay, shiny, I get to play with that now, Okay. Yeah. Or don't wait, it's up to you. I say just wait, but ideally don't wait. Just keep going with your boundaries and figure out what you want for your life, right? Okay. All right. So ways to forgive yourself. Back to this. Well, accepting responsibility for your healing. Don't accept responsibility so you can take that feeling of responsibility that you have for the things that happen to you. Okay, because when you're saying I'm ashamed, I feel guilty, I feel like a sucker, you're taking the responsibility of the abuse. Take that feeling of responsibility and shift it toward responsibility for your own healing. Okay, so here's a sad hard fact. Somebody else puts you in this position, it's up to you to get yourself out of it. That doesn't seem fair, and it's not, and I'm sorry, but it's true. No one can do the healing work for you. You have to do it yourself. It's active healing. You can't just sit there and wait for time to heal the wound, unless this is maybe like your first narcissist and you're only with them for a few weeks or a few months. Maybe it will heal and you'll just be like, I don't know what hit me, but I'm never doing that again. And you'll learn the red flags and you'll move on. For most people, this is lifelong. And for most people, this is minimally years long. Okay. And it's not one of those things like a normal, regular, everyday breakup where you just take some time, you recover, you feel sad, and you get better. There's a lot of stuff mixed up. There's this feeling we're talking about right now where you can't forgive yourself for even being in the relationship to begin with. That's not normal for a breakup, right? Most people maybe have that for a few minutes or if at all. A healthy breakup from a normal, healthy relationship that just didn't work, people are thankful for the time they had together, even though it hurts, right? Or they maybe regret it, but they don't have this self-shame around it. So take that shame, realize that what you're doing is taking accountability and responsibility for the abuse itself, which isn't your fault. So, and shift it towards your healing. It is now actually time to take responsibility and accountability for your own healing. Does that make sense? I'm good keeping on track. Well, that's good. I do it because of my brain multitasks really well. It's not the word. I megatask. Like if you've ever seen me in a group, that's my favorite thing is like working in group coaching because I've got multiple people at once and I'm trying very hard to be very present to each person and listen to what they're saying from where they are and not blend the things. But then I just love the multiple things going on at once. And if you've seen me in the messenger chat part, it's pretty funny because it gets really like 5 different things happening at once. And I love that stuff. So it actually, it works well. I don't know why, but maybe the ADHD part of me really, really likes it. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, 4 decades for me, 8 years in, I'm not healing fast at all. It's tough. It isn't fast. It's your whole life that you have to change around, right? So if you're going to spend your time taking accountability for something, take accountability for the healing. Take accountability for the fact that it is in your hands to do the work you need to do to make yourself better. Without criticism that it's not happening fast enough, without judgment of how it should happen, without even really knowing what should happen. Just the fact that it's okay, it's up to me to get out of this. It's the mindset I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, somebody else put me here, it's not fair, I have to get out. Say, yeah, somebody else put me here and that is awful of them. And now I have to get out of it. And it's the mindset. It's not even, it's something you have to like play with. What did I say here? Being aware and accountable to your actions and beliefs you're working to change. And allowing mistakes. Okay, so if you're accountable to your own actions and your own beliefs about yourself, and you start working with changing those negative, toxic beliefs you have about yourself, that's a lot more productive than worrying and going over and over about the feeling of being a sucker or being shamed, right? Got to let that go at some point and start focusing on something else that is more productive. Okay. Bonnie, somehow it seems to be so much harder around the holidays. Oh, of course. It's hard around the holidays for people who don't have this to deal with. The holidays I just so wish we could do something different in our whole entire society around it because they're just so much stressful for everybody. And yes, I mean, it's obvious. You go out there, you watch the way people drive, the way people are to one another. There's this friendly, loving, giving side. And then there's this absolute stressed out, harried, that everyone's got. Okay. What are we saying? Hey, Daniel, happy Parasite-Free Friday to you as well. All right. Okay. Too many family movies. I don't watch the TV. That's why. Yeah. I try to keep things as normal as possible, as regular, and then just a little bit adding it in. That's what I do. But we got to let go of the stress of holidays, right? It is so hard. Recreating new traditions, finding things that you enjoy about the season, letting go of expectations that you feel other people have on you, and really just living your life versus living your life for other people, right? Day 202, you're in Mexico. Oh, how fun. Is it warm and lovely? It's been amazing. Go do what excites your soul. I love it, Daniel. I wish you could send pictures. I want a picture. All right. I like other people's trips because I don't really particularly care to take them. Can I just see pictures? It's pretty. Okay. 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 Yes. Hello, Mo Cowboy. Okay. So number 2, allow the feelings of sadness and remorse and grief when you are trying to forgive yourself for anything really, but for something that isn't your fault. Sometimes we're blocking grief with the shame and the blame and the self-blame. So if I blame myself, I can feel annoyed and mad at myself instead of the grief of what actually happened. Instead of grieving what I need to grieve to go through this to get out the other side, right? I can divert it in by feeling shame and blame. I think we all kind of do this like avoidance thing of our own feelings because the grief is painful. And who wants to feel that? Especially if you have a really good coping skill like shame and blame, self-blame, to just sort of take its place. So allowing the grief, and while you're allowing that grief, find things that nurture yourself, find ways to be your friend, find friends that will support you and love you. If you don't have anyone, you have you, okay? And you can surround yourself with things that make you feel better, surround yourself with nurturing, use your senses, use your sense of smell, your sense of touch, all of those things to bring in a sense of nurturing to your life while you're grieving. You have to grieve this stuff. No one gets through this without it. I don't think. I think it's tough because we have so many skills and so many techniques for avoiding the grief that we feel, if we're even feeling it at all, you know? Okay. Number 4. Number 4. What am I saying? Hey, Robin and Mo Cowboy. Who did I miss? If I missed you, hello. Okay. Okay, number 4. So you can restore things. You can fix and change the behaviors that are, like I said, with your negative self-talk, with your limiting beliefs, with affirmations to help shift your perspective of yourself through coaching, through therapy, through support groups. Start doing things to restore the balance. All right. Yes, this is awful. No, not all of life is awful. I can prove it because the trees are pretty and the trees are part of life. All right. I can prove that life is not awful because my dog is cute and she's sweet and she's kind and she's loving and he is too. They both are. Okay. I can prove that not all life is bad by just realizing that. So that shows there's balance. Okay. So find more balance, restore yourself, your own sense of that you do have your own back and you're there for yourself by being kind to yourself. All you're doing when you are not forgiving yourself is you're being really cruel to yourself and you're reinforcing the belief that you have no control in your life. You're reinforcing the belief that you deserve the pain. So don't do that. Come back into being kind to yourself and what did I say? Oh, and being aware of the negative self-talk and the criticisms that you're placing on yourself and change those. You wouldn't do that to someone else. Don't do it to you. You might do it to someone once to tell them what it is they're doing. Hey, you know what? You stepped right into that. Now, okay, the first warning, the first few, like as you're seeing red, where you missed the red flags. Oh, you totally stepped into that. You needed someone so bad that you took the bait. You loved the love bombing. Love bombing feels good. I'm sorry, guys, it just does. Until you know what it is, until you realize that it's creepy and disgusting, it's fun. It's fun to be treated like whatever they treated you like, right? Most of us enjoyed it, at least at some point. Unless at the same time, we felt the anxiety of it. We felt instantly bonded to someone we don't know. That's creepy. We had the warning signs, but we were listening to the good feelings. That's okay. All right. But recognizing it, the first sign of being like, whoa, girl, whoa, guy, you just stepped right into that because you needed it so badly. That's okay. It's when you take that and you keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it to yourself as if that is abnormal, as if there's shame around that. There isn't. That's normal. People like attention, of course. So of course you fell into it. But now you know. So it's like learning what you need to know without placing shame on the fact that you didn't know it back then as a bad thing, right? Okay. Yes, have your own back because others don't have it. Some of us have it, and you seek out those that have your back. You listen to the way people support you. And if they're not supporting you in the way that you need to be supported, you simply walk away. And that's okay. Sometimes someone can only support you this far, and you just ask for that much, right? You don't try to force people where they can't go. But also, yes, being your own cheerleader and your own best friend takes time, but it's also important. Okay. Okay, reconstruct me, says Mo Cowboy. I admit it felt really, really, really good. Really, really unsettling too, exactly. And so now we know to listen to the unsettling part and walk away, right? But we didn't then, and that's okay. So what I'm saying is when you recognize what it was that pulled you in, and you see it as, I should have seen those red flags. That was total love bombing. I should have seen that. Or that was future faking. I should have seen that. Whatever it was that attracted you and sucked you in. Once you're trauma bonded, you got to realize what a trauma bond is. And go watch my trauma bond videos if you're not understanding how physiologically addictive it becomes to be treated the way that they treat us. If there's any questions, leave them on there and I'll do a whole nother video about those questions. So go understand that, because once you're trauma bonded, which it does not take long to get there, especially with massive love bombing in the beginning, right? Then you have to realize that anyone trauma bonded look how intelligent people are and they're still trauma bonded, right? Look at the people around you. Anyway, so it's perspective. This whole thing is about perspective and taking care of yourself in loving, kind ways. Okay, so restoring it by fixing and changing things. Number 5, renew yourself. Renew yourself through finding parts of yourself that you actually like. Renew your faith in yourself. A lot of times we don't forgive ourselves because we're terrified of doing it again. We think if we don't forgive ourselves, that means that you're holding on to the understanding and the awareness of what happened. Right? If I just take on the blame and feel really guilty, then I will never be in that position again, because I'll know it when I see it. When in fact, all you're doing is holding on to a negative belief about yourself that isn't letting you live your life. It isn't giving you the freedom you want to evolve. You can still know the red flags. You can still keep yourself safe. Yeah, you might meet some narcissists out there and you might have experiences with them again in your life. Guaranteed you probably will in some way, shape, or form, but you're not going to fall for it the same way, because you're going to see it as it's happening and step away and walk out. You're not going to let it get to the point. You may feel even trauma bonds to someone and then you go, whoa, this does not feel healthy. I'm out. All right. You'll start running away from things that are healthy because you don't understand them, and then you'll catch it and sorry, lost my train of thought because I had a weird text come through. I'm getting spam texts from my kid. I don't know why they have his name under my number, but I keep getting the weirdest texts for him, and he's like 11. So I don't know. Anyway, okay. Safe. What is that? Safe is being self-aware enough to know what it is you want for your life, what's good for your life, and being able to walk away from things that aren't, and being able to open yourself up and embrace things that are. That's safe. It's emotional intelligence. It's emotional freedom. Okay. That's to me what safe is. Safe is being bold and knowing you're going to get hurt anyway. And then having the skills to heal yourself when you need it, having the skills to brush off the bruises, right? Because life is like that. We can't protect ourselves in a giant, beautiful, glowing bubble that nothing can penetrate. It just doesn't, it's not possible. We can do that if we're ignoring and avoiding everything, right? Or if we're pretending life is just so wonderful, and when it's awful, right, we can live in this fakey bubble, but life, so that to me is safe. Okay. Okay. Stress will release cortisol and other hormones which deteriorate bones and tissues. Stress is awful, right? Okay. Okay. So finding things, so renewal of your faith in yourself. It's important. You lose faith in yourself when you feel like a sucker. You don't trust yourself. So you got to learn to trust yourself. Learn to trust that you have learned a lot through this process. You've learned a ton about yourself and about other people. You're not just learning about narcissists. When you're learning about narcissistic abuse, you're learning about yourself, I hope, right? My whole focus is, we need to understand them and whatnot. We need to understand them in detail, in depth, right? But that's not the real focus. The real focus is understanding yourself through the process. So as you do that, you are renewing yourself. If you are hanging on to self-shame and blame for the fact that it happened, you're interfering with your own learning to trust and have faith in yourself. So finding positive things about yourself, 3 things every day, and journal them. All right. Try to seek things maybe, learn trust because you have been conned by the best. You trust yourself, love. You trust you. You don't trust other people. I don't trust anyone, not really. Not until I know them, until they prove consistency, until they prove a lack of trying to manipulate my emotional world, until they are emotionally safe. And I have a whole video on what emotionally safe versus unsafe looks like. And I should do it again because I think it's super useful to go over that kind of thing. But go watch that. And I think that's what it's called, emotionally safe versus unsafe. And as you learn to trust yourself, as you learn to trust that you can walk away from someone can treat me amazing. Okay, let's just talk dating world just for a minute. Someone can treat me amazing. They can be handsome or whatever. They can be very attentive. They can be kind. They can seem really friendly. They can seem very, and they start displaying red flags. And I want what they have. I want what they're giving me. I want the attention. I want the affection. I want to be seen that way, whatever it is. I'm wanting it. At the same time, I don't want all that other stuff that comes with it. I don't want their clinging need to know where I am every second. I don't want their, all the red flags start to show pretty quick if you know how to look for them, for a lot of people, not for everyone. But as they start showing red flags, I trust myself to be able to say no to the thing I want so that I don't get involved with something that is toxic. Does that make sense? So it's not necessarily trusting others. It's trusting yourself that you can step away from something, even something that seems good or something that not even seems good, but has what you want. And because it's not seeming good, because it's seeming like there's red flags. Does that mean I'm never going to see someone toxic? No. Does that mean these people are narcissists? No, it just means they're showing red flags. There's something I don't want in my life. All right. Okay. I feel like I've wasted, Angela's saying, I feel like I've wanted years of my life with various narcissist exes who constantly used and abused me, mad at myself for starting over again with nothing. That's when you take the crap and you turn it into fertilizer, my friend. Really, you start working on you and let other people just forget it. Right? Start working on you and forming friendships and bonds with people who are safe. They do come. They are out there. We're out there. We're here, right here talking, right? And that is one step towards being around people who are safe for you, because we have no ill intent toward one another. And that's on a very removed and safe level, so to speak, right? But if you're focusing your attention back on what happened in the past that much, you're wasting more time in the present. And you're not creating a future. You're creating a future that's filled with the past. What you're doing now is setting forth motion towards your future. Does that make sense? What you're doing in this moment, right this second, you're sitting here watching this to understand something about yourself and about the nature of how to move from this stuck point, right? As you're watching this and as you're thinking about it and as you're considering like, what do I need to do for myself? If you're listening to the things I'm saying and you're thinking, how can I apply that? Does that resonate with me? Do I like that? Do I not like that? As you're thinking about it, you're creating the next step for the moments that come after it. If you're instead focusing all of your attention, instead of listening and like trying to apply or trying to understand it, and you're focusing back on memories of, but I've wasted so much of my life with these people, and you're thinking and thinking and thinking about the shame and guilt and regrets that you have, you're building a future full of regrets because you're putting that energy forward. Does that make sense? You're using it in the now to push it forward as if life can never be different. Oh, good. Okay. So weird when I say this every day. I'm like rambling on and on about something and I'm like, I have no idea. I can't see you or talk to you. I'm making eye contact with a camera. Okay. Okay, it makes sense. I'm mad at myself for being broke and old. You know what? Then work on tomorrow, right? Work on tomorrow through living a better today and try to love yourself, even if you're poor and old. Okay? I don't know how old you are or how poor you are. I'm using your words. Even if you still deserve love, and you still deserve respect, and you still deserve a future that could be different. All right. How can you build a future that's different? How can you build a future where maybe you are making some money or you feel younger? I feel younger now than I did 20 years ago. What's that say? It says it doesn't matter how old I am. Okay. At least to me, at least right now in this moment. So maybe it's about working on your posture so you don't feel so old. Maybe it's about working on doing some dance or doing something, and you can do all this stuff free, taking walks, doing something, if you're in pain, sitting down and dancing in a chair, doing something to feel your body move and feel freedom. Because what you're describing there is a lack of freedom, right? Old and poor indicates like a stuck, unable to move kind of, right? So finding ways to find freedom might be the way to find renewal, and restoring things by fixing those beliefs about what being old and poor is. All right. I have age and don't have a lot of financial means. I also have what? I have a good mind. I have a good heart. Finding those things that matter about you, seeking. Okay, here's another one with renewal. Seek your joy. I say this every single day, right? Seek joy. You can have feeling old and alone and poor, and that's really beautiful and that's really wonderful at the same time. You can have both. It creates balance so that life is not all negative. You will feel better with more balance and less negativity and less of the stress, right? It's not doing you any good to sit and stress about what you can't control. But what you can control is what you seek and the way your mind goes and the thoughts that you have. So working toward seeking joy, seeking things like self-praise, being able to congratulate yourself when you do something, when you do have something, being appreciative of what you do for yourself and what is around you, and seeking positivity around you. I know it sounds like Pollyanna-ish, but really it's taken me a long time to be able to even say that. But yeah, it's true. It helps. It does. It fills you with love. And when you have love, you have abundance. Okay. Having an abundance of love is a good thing, especially if it's also self-directed. And then you have an abundance you can spill out toward the world around you. And you don't know what will happen tomorrow then. instead of knowing what will happen because you're stuck in the negativity. Okay. Negativity is like sticky and it holds you there. Be kind and eat good chocolate. Ah, yeah. Okay. I like Pollyanna. I'll take it. Yay. Okay. All right. Okay. So seeking your positivity. Why? Why seek all this positivity? Because you're trying to build a life where you evolve, right? You're trying to set goals and you're trying to grow. You're not trying to stay stuck here. That's why. And look at each piece of growth that you've had. Even if you're still around toxic people, just being here is growth. Just being in groups and watching videos and trying to learn about yourself is growth. It may be tiny, but it's growth. Look at the pieces of renewal that you are placing in your life. Do not overlook any of them, or undermine, or underestimate, or minimize any of the pieces of healing that you're putting into place. They're all important. Everyone is like a drop in the bucket. Remember that this is a big tangly mess. There's no linear line to healing, and it's a big tangly mess, and you're just pulling threads. And don't bark. And if you pull, don't bark. And no, Ruby, that's Savannah leaving. Come on. If you pull the right thread, sometimes it's just a little pull and a whole lot untangles. So don't minimize even the smallest efforts that you're making towards your healing. Don't minimize just like the only thing positive I could see today is I love rain and it's raining out. If that's all you can do, don't minimize that. You found one positive thing. Okay, so let's keep going. Nothing bad is happening in this very moment in time. Exactly. Sometimes the positive is just a not negative. That's okay too. But I would then say, Jack, go further and find something beautiful, or something that smells nice, or something for your senses that is pleasing, so that you keep filling the positivity of life around you and your own experience of life. That's the important part, right? We don't want to walk around feeling horrible. Okay. Yeah, those shoulds that you're talking about there, Bonnie, she says, no rest for the weary. The narcissists bash you and say you should have done more. Totally ungrateful. Those shoulds, that should thinking, eliminate it from your own inner dialogue about yourself. It's okay that they said it, whatever. We don't care what they, we know they're abusive. So stop being abusive to yourself with more shoulds. Okay. I should have known better. I should have seen that. I didn't see it. And now I'm going to heal. Okay. All right. Bye, Mo Cowboy. Okay. One more thing here before we go. Nice dog bark. Yeah, you like that? I was like, except that's going to happen again because another person is coming down the stairs. What's happening? Or he's going to come to my door. Nope, out the door they go. She forgot something. Job interview. Okay. All right. All right. Stop justifying and accept things. All right. Don't justify the abuse by taking responsibility. It's what you're doing. Accept that it happened. Accept that you were with a toxic person. Accept that they're a narcissist. Accept them for who they are. Accept yourself for who you are. You're not toxic. Okay? You're doing your best for yourself, even if you didn't catch it. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's my simple mantra. Okay. What are we saying here? In and out, in and out. Come on, dogs. They're like someone's going in and out of the house, and the dogs are all right. Yeah. Okay. All right. What I say here. So another thing is as you're going through this, really understanding narcissistic abuse. That is why we have so many videos. It's not because we need to label people. It's because understanding helps you to let go and forgive yourself. Okay, understanding that it really, really is how they are. They will be doing it to the next person. They have done it to the person before you. It is how they are. They will do it to everyone who interacts with them on an intimate level, on any level of closeness, on any level where emotions are involved, or even not. They will manipulate. We have to understand and accept it for that reason. Not because we need to label them or push blame or point fingers or they're bad, we're good. Yeah, there's a little bit of that that comes, but that's not the point. The point is understanding so that you can let go of your own guilt you're feeling towards yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't shame yourself. All right. Empathize with yourself. Okay. You were the one who was hurt. Stop putting blame on the victim. All right. See yourself not as a victim, of course, but you were in that circumstance in a very removed, far away, looking at it from really far away. You can say, yeah, there is a perpetrator, there is a victim. I feel empathy for the person who's going through that right now. That was me, right? That's why I tell people when they get really jealous of new supply to really empathize with the new supply, because you were that new supply. And it can help you understand yourself that's what you went through. That's why you didn't see it. They're not seeing it. They're smart people. I told you in the beginning, two therapists and people who work in narc abuse, and they're a toxic person. And I mean, I don't know them personally, but I know the narcs. So I think I really empathize with them because they're educated and they're not seeing it. I don't know why, but I do know why, because it's being hidden really, really well. However, enough of that. All right. So we have to have the empathy for ourselves. And a lot of times we skip over ourselves. Often we skip over ourselves in the empathy giving department. All right. Hi, Grace. I accept that I choose poorly, she says, and I don't hate myself for it anymore, feeling less disappointed as the months progress, learning to accept that and release the shame. Excellent. Very good. Okay. I must accept myself. Hello, away alone. Yes, we have to accept ourselves. We have to empathize with ourselves. If you have this enormous capacity for empathy, if you consider yourself an empath, why aren't you turning it towards yourself too? Right? Every time you feel shame over something that you had no control over, that somebody else did to you, you're skipping over empathy and going straight to judgment. And to me, just understanding that helps me go, oh, okay, Lise, it's time to turn that empathy toward me too, instead of continuing down the judgment path toward myself. Okay. So what did I say here? I said, oh, look, when you wonder why, who cares? Who cares if I blame myself? Look at the benefits that you'll gain through self-forgiveness. Look where you're going. Find a goal in this. If your goal is, I want freedom from feeling this way, I want self-confidence, find it. What is this blocking in you that you don't believe about yourself, that you now believe negatively about yourself? And look toward what it would be like. What is life like if I don't have this shame and guilt? And use that as a goal, as a reminder for why do all this work to let it go. It's not just like let it go, picture a balloon and pop it. You can try that. It might work. Fill it with your shame, pop it, and let the shame disperse into the air. You can do grounding exercises where you breathe in and let the earth just take that shame. The earth can take it. It's there underneath us, supporting us all the time. There's all kinds of like meditation visualizations you can try to let go of shame and guilt. Remembering that your heart is, holding the empathy and the love. And so turning that love towards yourself through meditation as well. There's all kinds of loving kindness meditations toward yourself and all people, things like that can help as well. Okay, you guys, I have to go do a group in 5 minutes. So I'm going to head out. If you need help coaching wise, you know where to reach me. Down below, there's information on everything like that in the main description of every video. If you would like texting notification of my going live, text me at 33222, put the word Lise Live, LISELIVE, hit send, and I will text you about 10 minutes prior to going live. I come on about 4 times a week. I am open to any topic you guys want to talk about, as I'm always open to just shifting over if there's a lot of need in the group and just answering questions. So I have a topic just because it seems useful. All right. I think that's it for today and this week. I will see you guys next week. We're approaching the holidays. We'll be doing something. I did say I'd come on Christmas and Christmas Eve, so we'll do that. That'll be fun. I probably won't do a topic. It'll probably be brief, like just saying hello and whatnot, because I'll be also hosting something with the Spanily, which will be some sort of gathering through a Zoom chat. We will be bringing poems or songs or very short pieces of writing or affirmations or gifts of word, sound, or talent, whatever we want to share with one another for the first part. The second part, I'm going to open to a free mini group coaching for whatever's needed for that day for about half an hour or so. So whoever's in there, we'll just split the time and we'll go. So we'll do it like that, and we'll have a focus, and it'll be fun. And I guess that's it. So we'll do that Christmas and Christmas Eve. That's coming up. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Take care and work on that self-forgiveness. It's important. It's a big, important, super vital piece of healing. Letting it go. You will feel so much better. I promise when you get there and you can do it. Okay. Bye-bye.